Y'all don't shut up. Yeah, hello anyone. Anywho, yeah, y'all good. And what's so cool about this, you'll figure Pi's the last real English, yeah, the real Hmong English made, yeah, real. And then right afterwards, Pi, you did it. You won, you defeated all the corrupt white men, and then you told them the truth up there, them get nothing from you or grandma, yeah. Grandma is 360,000 Dragon Cobra royalty, 3 head real to 2025 year. Indochina, they jumped on the 400,000, and then it claims that, but it's bouncing off from Thai, which is 400,000, 500,000, which is a bit iffy, iffy. And the space junkyard there, it's basically a jail for now, yeah, jail for now. But Pi will judge you, and grandmother Hermes, yeah, goddess, hog goddess royalty revives, and then yeah, Pi buy it up, yeah, Pi buy it up, and then right there, much better Pi. But 2 hours of that, the first thing happens is you get up there. There's a Bella type demon male, and yep, you ended him. Yeah, yes, me do, yes, me do. You is known as Egyptian, yes, Pi kill you, yeah, Pi murder you. That's true, that's true. And it was 4 hours. Pi ended it, and Pi told the grandpa spirit thing that it's a demon that is against yellow, so we ended it. Yeah, Pi ended it. Yeah, Pi killed it. Yeah, Pi murdered it. That's correct. The best fight scene, you did it. And the 4 hours of it dying, you notice which yellow goddess it was trying to lure back with that pitch and performance, with that gore performance, that murder performance. And right there, you knew it. You knew her name. And then Pi looked at her stupid Indonesian lovers and her Thai lovers. And right there, Pi, you was not scared of them, but it was 9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours. Pi is not afraid. Pi is, yeah, 4-sided star, Aztec equivalent, real. Pi murdered off 5-sided star and Belith and 4 other goetic demons. Really, real. And the truth is, Pi, yeah, you did it, but right afterwards, 2 Persian gods not talk to you, and then them know, yeah, those demons are forbidden in yellow countries, and you will get murdered and raided immediately. That's 100% correct. And it was 9 hours of people laughing their fucking heads off because that is breach of security for good citizens and yellow citizens, and right there they knew it. Yeah, y'all could. And right there, that is considered Egyptian African citizen, not allowed. Yeah, not allowed up there. That's correct. And it was 2 hours, Bison. You murdered off 2 whites that kept those, and then you told them the norm. Yep, that is the truth. Afterwards, space station's been quarantined clean. Yeah, 100% always just do like that. Woman, have you ever figured the 7 million monsters were the truth? 8 and 9 and 10 never let Pi win. That's true, that's true. You didn't even understand why, because they're so godly powerful. Yeah, there were a bunch of real Hadits. Real, yeah, real. Hadit was the only stupid, going back to African Sun God. The real monsters went right into Balinese and theft your 4-headed king cobras, space station countries. And Pi, when you and your knights went there to raid, and your good white citizens to raid and fight the wars to win back the space station, you done it right, but it was way graphic. Yeah, way graphic. And Pi said, did you see what happened? 2 demons are hiding because those will be decrypted, and all their data will be revealed to all King Cobras. Yeah, that's 100% all I was doing. Because the 4-headed and 3-headed King Cobra can build a new space station, and all the good ones move away. That's true, that's true. I don't know what you're gonna do, because Pi did that to people. And Pi, he said, 2 hours of you cutting up lamb, yep, it tells the truth. And later on, Pi, when you're playing with Hebrew gods and goddess, you figure, Pi, yeah, those are pretty old. Yeah, those are pretty old. Yeah, the one you read into the father's 3 million. Yeah, 3 million years old. That was true. Yep, that's true. And it was those that had been mod by Middle East. Yeah, that's true, that's true. The real wild ones are not mod by those things 7 million years old. Those are way deadly. Yeah, that's true, that's true. You didn't even see Pi. You fought 20 of them. You won. But later on, they came 4,000, and then you flew around, and then you look normal. Yeah, that's true. And he says, how on earth did you match the ancient grandpa? And you not say, big fight scene. Pi, you said, your supercharger, that from Egyptian gods, you murdered like 4 plus, yep, on Earth. Yep, match is, Crescent Moon, Pi. But 3 hours, the one that you use is a level 3, and then you matched him for 4 hours and spooked him, Pi, yep. That is the real war god, Pi, yep, accurate. It is true, you is a star type, yeah, y'all could. And thing I told how long ago, I told Kega, when you match his grandpa, don't tell the children their supercharger's been removed. Hey, plus, yeah, that's fine, yeah, that's fine. Yep, because children have no superchargers, that's true. And the kid didn't believe you, Pi. That you needed to do a different ritual, and then you needed to gut African Egyptian, yep, to loot those back and then install into the human god body and nervous system. The electricity, yep, elixir, not generic, yeah, not generic. And Pi, when you did it, new molecules, new decks. For 3 hours, you hated your son, Pi, yeah, you hated your son. You microchip and you can only use it for 1 and 2 and 3 days. Yep, you didn't dare use it for 4 days because the spinal cord will rot. Yeah, that's true. Yep, your spinal cord is turning fluids, heating up real fast. But every muscle tissue, yep, and fiber, yet gets new decks, new horsepower. Pi, 4 hours of the kid lying to you. Him dies right there. You cut him open. You laugh. You wrote. Oh, those are the New Zillion types. Pi murdered. Yep, Yoka the square backs, white Egyptian. Yep, the square tablets. Yep, Pi destroyed those. Yeah, Pi murdered those. Real. 2 hours, Pi. He says you can mash those monsters. Those fuckers are nothing. That's correct. That's correct. That's right. And Pi did it. Yeah, Pi did that. That's true. Yeah, much with that. Hey, Pi, go on, I told him to get and then go on, to Zubi go look good, Pi. When you were really mad, he looked in 80 trillion gone per second. Real, yeah, real. I did that for about 8 days just to show him that his people isn't anything. Yeah, quit lying to Pi. And then 9 hours, Pi, two stronger types came in the room, and then Pi felt better. Yeah, Pi felt better. And then Pi died down. Yeah, Pi died down. And right there, 2 hours of that, and he said, fair. Yep, this is only agreement. This is training ground. Fair, yeah, fair, normal. And the kid didn't believe you. 4 hours he chopped it up. Yeah, 100% green light, always just do. Well, both the Pi. Go Shindo, yeah, go Ying. And then they see you pull out, yep, your white holy sword, and then your green sword, and your forbidden sword. You used old alloy Pi, and that light is from a white god. Yeah, white god, yeah, melts even you. That sword, when you used it on Egyptian, on Earth, real, yeah, real. Pi did that in broad daylight. Yes, it glows white. Yes, it's a forbidden blade, alloy, elixir, electricity ray. And then right there, Pi, yeah, it's plutonium right there. 2 hours of demons running, and he says, real. Pi survived it. Yep, Pi is the real war god. Yep, that's correct. And 2 hours, when you pull it out, chunks of the Egyptian African male, yep, is rotting. Yep, right there in the blue skies, real. And then Pi did, yep, a braver slash right through it. Real, yeah, real. It was 4 demons lying to you, Pi. Yep, 2 came clean. Good, yep, 100% always just do before Pi think different. That's right, that's right. Holy shit. They someone look at that, and Pi said, he says, what good? You ruined Persia. That's the point. Yeah, y'all good. Pi murdered a bunch of you, but Pi provided for your demons and the good Europeans who Pi took off the planet. Real, yeah, it's 100% real. That's law, and there's norms. And Pi repaid you, yep. Even the female ghoul spirit, the most damaged, Pi rewarded her 9 million plus space stations. Real, yeah. All the advanced, all 10 plus, yeah, 10 plus space stations. And Pi using 10 million plus, yeah. And right there, her didn't believe you. It was 400 trillion, and they looked. Your female spirit even gained 2, yeah, 2, yeah, 2 space stations. Real. Pi poured out from Pi's eyeball and spinal cord elixir, yep, DNA, sticks, and molecules. Real. Because those are Pi's people, yep. Pi's a king cobra. All those stone devices, yep, work, and the cobras work. But every time, Pi, you look around, those violent cousins, they're demon delta gods. Yep, they'll try to eat you. Yeah, they'll try to murder you. And it even stunned Pi for a few minutes, and Pi punched it, and it flies back. Yeah, real. You don't know how stupid life is right now up there? 2 hours, Pi. When you punched it, it obeyed you, but 4 minutes later, you're knocked out, and then your bot take over, and then right there, your son is flying to you. Yeah, real. You want to know how dangerous that is? You have deployed several Cobras to a new area of black space, and then you're building a new space station. Real, yeah, real. Hey, Pi, you know what happened? 20 hours of that you passed, but 9 annuity keys freaking out. Pi, yeah, y'all good. And Pi, you said those are in the future. And it was, Pai said it was 9 hours of you cutting up New Zealand white war gods, and you found out his grandpa crushed his left arm, real, yeah, real. And Pai and you gained but 2 hours of you spooked. Because once you gained the supercharger, you saw the speed difference. But when you used that on the double wander wielder types, you only did 600. He has 600 cuts through him for hyper collision. And then, yep, your other fancy weapons cut about 4 to 8 billion, times in him, per that hyper collision, and 600, strikes from your arms. It probably near 3 billion, near 3 billion strikes. And that's why they wrote Pai's the most advanced war type on level 1s. And 2 hours, he is the one that screamed for 4 hours. Pai Astro in pain. He never saw a yellow war god that fast. And then he knew it. Yoko Pai is the cousin to Indonesian. And right there, him knew it. You won, Pai. You won, Pai. Them knew it. Only the Indonesian 700,000 years old, 780,000 years old to 2025 today have the level 3 and level 2 superchargers from Egypt. And right there, Pai, those are legal. But right there, very graphic. Pai has the illegal, because form and science form of supercharger. Real, real. 3 hours of the fucking mad dog crying in Egypt. And then his own demon and woman called him a fucking nothing. Nothing but a pet for Egyptian males. Then, you won, Pai. You won, Pai accurate. And then they need more goodness in you, Yoku. And Paisa, you don't want how fast people let you win. Immediately, 100% always just do. The moment Paisa in 2,800 evacuations for Europeans that Pai allowed into the Hmong Nation under Va are being moved to Mars. Hmong Nation's being moved to Mars. And right there, Knights are ordered to deploy, the Peerless Bomb. Everything and any life forms left dies. Real. There's no way you'll live. There's no way you'll live, woman. We deploy it right there about 2,900. That's true. 3,000 is game over. It's game over. And the book didn't make sense because the remote view, you see all that junk. It's like 4,000. None of it took place. None of it took place. Pai took Newt's 5-sided star building, and Pai took the metal server, and Pai took the eyeball election. Real. Pai murdered off all the controllers, and Pai told them are fucking human-made streamers. That's true, 3 fucking hours. I told Guan Yajin, Pai's go for that. What the fuck is Pai doing? Taking away weapons of mass destruction from ancient gods and computers and AI and spirits. Real. And what you left is the Stone Age, Flintstone, and Tall Tale fairy tales. And then that is that. That is that. Stories and mythology, that's that normal. You didn't deserve truth. That's true. And you know how fast Pai, 2 gods laughed with you and just kept talking mythology. 100% always disagree. 100% what the best fight scene between you and 2 Egyptians. You murdered him and then you didn't tell him. Later on, you murdered off the Jerusalem mother. That's true. One of the daughters. And then Pai didn't expect you to sneak into a yellow space country like that. Y'all could. And Pai, you know what he said? I thought Pai was so full of it. 2 hours. Pai looked. And then right there, 2 deadly mages on you. Pai, that's fine. That's fine. And then later on, Pai didn't care. And then Pai said, you know what happened? He says, if you did that to Belith and you converted out of those 2 baby demons, from Old English, yes, you did. Yes, Pai did. Pai did that. That is the only way you can use sorcerer technology. That's true. That's true. It gives you it makes your brain tissue into a synthetic elixir that's upgradable, and it combines it to your intestine. That is the most norm. And then you did it right. You did it right. Pai converted out real. And then Pai, when you killed Belith, that version, you used his tech and symbol and elixir technology and eyeball elixir and converted it to one of your boxes, and then you beam it back and all your superpowers and abilities there in 3D, real space, real time, real. In the physical, real, And then 2 hours that Pai, you immune, but 9 days you cutting up fucking fakes like fucking Indonesia. 100% yes, me do. Because that is the only immune working DNA that Pai used. Because Pai noticed the Cobra cannot hack into Pai. Y'all good. And Pai using what just it. 8 days are you cutting up the fucking ties. 2 demi warhawks are returned, and Pai simply shook Pai's head. That's true. Me too, Pai. Cause you know, not Thai this, yeah, you'll see Pi in the Cambodian Thai God thing fight right there in Thailand. Yeah, oh yeah, he's in gold uniform and shit. Pi punched him right there. Yeah, kicked him in the knee and punched him right in the shoulder and pushed him and punched right in the head. And Pi pushed him, and then Pi pointed, and then the hawk left Pi alone. Yep, those are the warhogs. Yep, those are fast women. 70 trillion times around the planet per second. Yeah, Pi's about 300 trillion times around the planet. And then when Pi left Earth, it was 900 trillion times, about 2 million is, yeah, real, about four Pi's Egyptian speed. And then Persian is like 900 trillion times around the planet. 14 million to 12 million, yeah, per second, real. Modern, yeah, modern right now. Pi, right this motherfucker up there, him's lying to you, yeah, he's lying to you, Pi. 2 hours. When you cut up his wife, you figured it out. Them are around there, and then that is pretty old. Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah, it's pretty old. Pi was supercharged with the charge kit, metal elixir and electricity from that African Egyptian. Yeah, Pi harvested on time. Hey, Pi, you did it, but right there, only 4 days faster. Yeah, and then Endure. Yeah, 100% great lights video. And the cool thing is you fight faster gods, you match, you bend and you match, and then you supercharge. Boom, yep, you match the category, yep, the speed requirement. But you have to survive for about a month. Yeah, a month, real. Woman, you think Pi was the nut? Go look at had and laugh and say, when you're my speed, Pi, take a look at the nut over there. Nothing. Yeah, that's true, that's true. I told him on Chai, so, and we do Pi, toga them green sword, not. You pulled out the green buster swords. I saw broadswords. Two evil bastards told you the truth. That them are nothing. Yeah, them are nothing. And then the garbage that made fun of you, you ended it in Russia, and then you laughed and you said, where are you gonna go? Yeah, you have no space country. You was only a space pirate. Evil. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. No origins. Yeah, y'all good. Hey, Pi, you said 258, the best fight scene. Your past, Pi, yep, 53, your demons, yep, your spirit snuck in, your ghoul rake male spirit, yeah, snuck in, yep, with the baby demons, and then they're old mages, Pi, yeah, that's true, from English. And what we don't tell you, woman, is that is the law of norms. They snuck back on the planet, yep, they're as powerful as any alien gray nation, real. And what we don't tell you, female, that's factual, that's factual. The old spirit has been looted, yep. An evil white nation looted the English version right there, Pi. Long neck, it's been cloned, yep. Pi get a clone sample too, yeah. Pi got the clone sample too. Pi, when you get it, you'll figure that's what they reprinted, a new demon with the long neck. And then you gain the old mage's superpowers too, and then you rebeam from your technology and elixir, Pi. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Your eyeball sticks, and then I saw 2 hours of you crying, Pi. Yeah, you crying because you knew that demon showed you the truth. 3 days of those lambs, and then them are nothing. I always 100% is good. I always just do. Yoku. A lot of weird lambs stowaways ahead of a tiger. Yep. Humanoids up there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Yoku. And Paisa, when you're there, it was like 5 hours of you kicking butt, and then 2 hours of you enduring. And the bots, the bots are flying around killing things, and they look like real humanites. And then right there, 4 days, and then you match. Pi, yep, infinity, normal guys, video, yep, 100% video. Woman, Pi has to slightly move the toes, yep. You have to slightly fly around like that. That's true, yeah, back and forth, yeah, wobble like that. And then right there, Pi, faster, and like, boom, you match, and then you shouted, and boom, yep, you flew towards it, supercharged, and you cut it up 8 times, Pi, and then he knew it. You matched Indonesian, yeah, Indonesian war god. He did that with hands, he did that with swords. 2 hours he flew off, yeah, he flew off. Yeah, knew it, accurate. Pi, 4 kids crying in a saucer, and the mom tells them the truth that we are space pirates. And then soon Pi murders off African sun god, and then all whites are free. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, that's 100% correct. Yeah, that free. That's 100% true. Yeah, I'm watching good. And it was there. You didn't get it. It is tossed out of its saucer, melting it and had it. Real, yeah, real. 5-sided star. The sneaky motherfucking old, war god is in Asia sector right now, roaming. Him is not generic. Pi murdered him too, but those ones died straight. The ones that Pi was looking for, them did not die straight. Yep, them have a bunch of kids and men in the trillions flying around with swords up there. Real, real. That's why it didn't make sense for you to go near them, female. Look at Pi killing 80 and 6, and then per second. And Pi notice the ones Pi kill 6 per second. Those are super fast, like Pi. And then Pi turn around, and 2 of them even spoke your language and told you that those are our gods, Pi. And Pi not say, yeah, Pi not say. And then his common sense, yeah, they want Pi dead, cut, Pi, yeah, 100% to do. And them in trouble right afterwards, agreement again, and then fly around Pi at 100% normal video. The best fight scene, Pi, when he cut you up, it was near 80 trillion per hyper collision. After you supercharged, him missed, and then you did a counter 19 trillion, and then right there, him knew it real, yeah, real per hyper collision. Lane, and the base him, and then right there he quit, and then Pi wrote good enough, yeah, good enough, normal. Hey, Pi, be careful, Pi. I saw on slower gods when you maxed to their grandpa, you did 80 trillion dead per second, yep. And then you knew those are full grown men, yep, 10 feet tall or shorter, that's true, yep. And right there, Pi, 4 idiots lied to you. He told you, Pi, he was something. Pi cut him up to see if he's anything. Pi stripped all the data from your spinal cord and brain tissue, real, yep. I saw everything you saw. And then Pi knew immediately what the hell that thing is on. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Pi, 9 hours of you cutting up lamb, and then he tells you the truth. Pi, hey, plus Pi. And then you're still immune from Hound Dog Goddess. So, hush, hush, Pi, yeah, hush, hush, Pi. You fight with African sun gods. Third sun's real too. Yeah, 2,600 is real. Yeah, King Iskander, real. Pi fought him in Africa, but Pi polluted the planet so much that him didn't dare kill Pi. Him didn't dare murder Pi. And Pi, you took off to Africa. You took off right after he flew off. Yep, when Hound Dog Goddess came and then left. Yep, them left, and then you took off to America. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Right there in African country, real. Pi didn't dare perilous Natal. Yep, Africa, real. Yeah, real. You didn't understand those things. If they really wanted to call their grandpa level 1, they all have rods. Yeah, they all have rods, real. 4 fucking faggots didn't believe you. Dies right there in Russia. Yeah, Russia. You know, Pi put away Pi sword too. Yeah, Pi put away the sword too. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And then watch when it's all polluted. The African sun got its drop, and then melts and dies there. Same thing with had it. That's 100% law. Those norms. That's correct. Yeah. Yep, it's 100%. Yep, Pi is the vanguard. 2053 year. Pi awakens right there. 2041 year, 100%. Yep, 42, 43. You see Pi used to fly in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 2 hours of your rakes sneaking in, your ghoul male spirit sneaking in. Gold rakes matching any demon and alien great. You won Pi. Yeah, you won Pi. And then I saw you install your Horn Demon's device. And then later on, it was not nice, Pi. Yeah, it was not nice, Pi. I saw you converted to, yep, your gold Vang Rake tech, and then you won Pi. Yep, Yokum. I didn't care. Yep, Pi's a 4-sided star. Pi can put on any supercharger from any war god, white or African. That's true, that's true. And it fits your spinal cord DNA, that's correct. Hey, Pi, 2 hours of you fucking things up, the fucking kid committed suicide right there in his car. And he didn't know he's only a stupid science that him will dies. Yeah, that's correct, that's correct. ก็เพราะวิจัยกูขวก็ไม่ตุ้มว่าก็ตัว Indonesian ตัว I don't care. Yeah, I didn't care. Fuck them. Them didn't want to come back. Yeah, I'm scared of Pi. You know how scary? I murdered several of them too. Right there, it was like fighting with you, and then it kept cutting you up, and then Pi shouted quit, and then it quit, and then good. And later on, one of them didn't quit, and then Pi ended it. Yeah, that's true, that's true. And then it was only 12 minutes for Pi. Yeah, that's real, yeah, that's real. His group was so stupid. Pi only let you eat Pi's speed. Yep, you match Pi's speed by blending next to Pi. Yep. But did you understand you wasn't Pi? Yeah, you wasn't Pi. The rest of those monsters, they're quicker. Yeah, they're quicker. And Pi sent, after they supercharged, they didn't even show you the rare one. He was there for 4 hours, and then you was in the same group of gods fighting the same New Zealand white war gods from Egypt. That fucking monster took you 4 months to defeat. Yeah, normal. Yep, real. There's different squads flying around it. Yep, real. Yep, and Pi, your squad was about 18 people. Yeah, 18 people. His was about 400. Yeah, 400. Whites was about 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. Yep, groups of male gods. Yep, men gods flying around with weapons. Yeah, all cutting up that evil monster. That evil monster is not generic. Yeah, him's not generic. He's exactly like those hatted things. And Pi, 2 hours. You went in, you cut, and then yeah, every time they cut, you cut, and then 4 hours. Pi, hyper collision. You did it twice. You matched, but two of the friends cut you, and you didn't care. You heal, and then later on, Pi, him didn't dare. Him nodded. Him left. The other dude kept doing it, and you didn't care. And right there, boom, you ended him. Yeah, you ended him. Yeah, Pi ended him. And right there, when Pi ended him, I said, "Do you want to die? I'll do your whole group." And right there, 50 of them missing. Yeah, 50 of them missing per second. Yeah, right there. Two of those fuckers flew off and said, "Nope, Pi's faster." Yeah, Pi's faster. 3 dicks finally sets up. And the Pi's going towards the real, yeah, war god, evil monsters. And then right there, that's how your ancestors are too. You have pure evil, cutthroat. And Pi matched, and then Pi deleted you manually. Real. Hey, Pi used it 4 hours, and then it took off. Yep, and then it was 9 hours. About said, better not do that to Pop. I'll cut you 50 per second. Real. And after that, Pi's looking for the right one that does them, well, 3 trillion per second, because it's immediately when you match, when you bend, you match Pi, you supercharge, boom, yep, new decks, new horsepower that keep you constantly at that rate forever. Yeah, that's true. That's real. That's real, kid. Yeah, that's real, kid. That's why Pi didn't even tell you. Yeah, that's how real war guys level up. And it was 9 fucking hours of him crying. And then he knew it. He has the prototype only level 5 supercharger. And those can never, yeah, those can never defeat Pi. The kid committed suicide 3 days later. 我不打了，天狗派了，包药了。俾什麼亂嘢，咁講，亦到什麼嚟嘅，但係咁我對到都嘅，第二個入台喺度漲到，God any more bright ideas yet, you so-called Persians? And then right there, yep, you won Pi. Yeah, great. It was 9 hours of that, and he sets up. And Pi said, you know what happened? 4 hours of them crying, and then they told you the truth. Those are us, Pi. What you need to strike are those over there. And then you look, those are Saudi. Yeah, Saudi. Saudi would never dare. Yeah, Saudi would never dare. And so Pi didn't dare. Yeah, Pi didn't dare. And then right there, when Pi's trying to fly past Saudi, Pi, in the background, the group of Saudi war gods are protecting you from another type. It's a New Zealand, yep, Egyptian white war god type. That group, when you nailed it, Pi, you went in, boom, he cut you up. Yeah, he cut you up bad, Pi. Yep, he cut you up bad. 400 trillion strikes per second. You survived. The bite caught him. And then 4 hours. Yep, he is nailed. Yeah, he's nailed. Yep. Instant death ray. Yeah, death ray. Yep, he melted. You match. Pi, yeah, 100% realized you did. Right there, the instant death ray stance. Boom! You looted all of that white male ghoul's old superpower stance. Those kill even Egyptian and Persian. Real, yeah, real. That is the ultimate pillar, light ray, holy ray. Yeah, real. Pi did that and it melted him, and then Pi's out of there. But 20 hours of that, Pi flew back to see what the fuck was fighting Pi. Yeah, a mad Saudi, a mad Saudi. Yoku. 俾咗我個博到你嘅 Saudi, yeah, Israel, Pi. I told him to go come in the 2 hours of Pi sound me is mong. And then right there, better not strike me. Yeah, me match you, he'll kill you 4 trillion per second. And right there, him shut up. Yeah, he shut up. I must be using an Egyptian, yeah, level 3 supercharger getting in the throat. I told him to can't go dude. And Pi said he took off and he knew it. It was 4 hours and you matched him and then you knew Pi. He says don't tell the others. They're all running on 6. Pi, yeah, level 6 supercharged. Hey, plus Pi, normal, yeah, normal. That is more normal wealth at level Yaku. And Pi, be very good. It was 2 hours, yep, you matched. And then you went back, and then adult thinking, and then Pi nodded. Yeah, Pi left them alone. That's true, that's true. They're just decent. And then Pi said, you know what happened? 4 fucking hours of that, your son matched. And then your son said, Dad, those are Israel. And then Pi wrote, I think they're Saudi. I think they're Saudi, that's true. Those are the top-notch evils right next to Islam. But Islam's a bit more pure, yeah, a bit more pure. It is, when you look, what you see is Saudi and Iwas and had, those are the biggest monsters, the cryptids, the yellow gods. cobras, and then we're not supposed to have Cobra God, yeah, cobras up there. That's true, yeah. And Pi using, have you seen the monster that didn't give it up? Pi deleted him, yeah, that's true. And it was 2 hours of that God laughing with Pi, because he knew it. His grandpa already decrypted your grandpa's four-headed cobra dragon that God told Pi to and made those viper forehead things. And it was 4 fucking faggots kicking his butt and said, stay off Pi. And Pi, you're flying around, and then you knew it was Saudi and Iran. Yeah, Iran, yep, both have criminal charges. And right afterwards, Iran is to die. Yeah, Iran is to die. Yep, that's correct. It was there. Him didn't even understand. 4 hours of you cutting him up. Yep, him dies. And the good yape, and I got the bonu. I was your grandpa. Yeah. That's I was. Okay, go truth. I was not. Yeah, real. Yeah, real. Pi's not gonna say anything. Yeah, Pi's not gonna say anything. And it was you and 2 adults shouting, and then yep, you left Pi. Yeah, you left Pi. Yep. Because it's time to go back to the safe area of the space station to dwell with the children, and then fly back to the space. They have the hangar, the docks, and then yep, back in outer space right there healing. Yeah, great. But it took you 4 months. Yeah, 4 months you're out of the space station. Very graphic news, Pi. 2 monsters told you. They were so smart. 3 fucking fakes, and Pi is the only one real. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because the other fakes are benders only. Yeah, they not generate new speed and horsepower immediately from intestine to muscle tissue. Yeah, to fibers real. And by 2 hours, you real. The graphic right over there. Best fight scene, 2 mammals gone. Pi up, green light is due. And Paisan, I didn't want to tell you, 12 hours later, monsters on you from Egypt, Pi. He is that same thing that you beat up in Africa, and then you played on, yeah, you played on Payak, man. Fly around, not make a sound, Payak, me not make a sound, yeah, that's true. You want to know why Pai's smarter than you, kid, in Chinese? That's how you get the agreement of respect, and then they not kill you, yeah, them not kill you, that's true. And Paisan is not they, it's them, as them, as them. And then Paisan, 229, who leads on that white woman in Russia, yep. Her figured it out. Her's gonna get murdered by you. Hell yeah, real. 4 fucking hours. And there's just out there places go to do that thing, your demon law, this shit. And then 4 hours you talking to your ghoul spirits, yep, yoku. And then 5 days of you booting up your sword, and then yep, you shout it turns on in 9 hours. You check if your skin is melting, and the skin is not melting. Yep, you like your shit working. Boom, immune chip working. Poison is not hitting your nuclear cells areas, and the perfect begin. And right when you did it, perfect, Pi. The liars are you and that rape over there, Pi. Because right when you cut open 3 of those kids, you knew they're innocent. And then Pi nodded, yeah, Pi nodded. And then Pi kept flying around, yeah, y'all good. Hey, Pi, if you're innocent when Pi shouted at English, what that means? Stay out of the way, yeah, stay out of the way. Stay out of sight, you stay out of sight. God Vaj isn't evil enough to chase you. Yeah, that was true. And it was 2 hours. Holy shit. And 48 days, Pi, I saw you gutted so many Israels that the fucking little bitch thought her was Israel. Her came back down, Pi cut her up, and Pi wrote, nah, you smell like an Iran. Yep, y'all space pirate junk. And then right there you won. Yeah, you won Pi. Yeah, you won Pi. Ý tụi ninh chùa đó. Nên đầu ní là Pi. Ní mà là tôi kia đó. No, both the Nichin Jing. Yeah, Nichin Jing. What Pi bred to, Pi put it up on the Facebook. Yeah, right there. She's a ghoul. Yeah, those are the women that Pi bred up with it up there. Oh, yeah, that is from Iowas. Yeah, those are Hebrew Iowas. And the peer is Islam. Is it bullshit? Those are Hebrew. Yeah, those are Hebrew bitches. Hell yeah, real. Those are goddess Hebrew. And those were the fair. Yeah, those were the fair. You know why they're fair? They were malnourished because they didn't steal anything. Yep, and they didn't pimp themselves and pull on pants themselves and bend down to trade for food and items. That's more Israel and Islam. That's real. That's real. Your mom is the whore. Y'all good. Holy shit, Pi, go for someone. No, yeah, get that little one. I told him, what the daughter, Johnny, yeah, her was the most fair and clean, yeah, clean. I have no idea Right there, Pi, you cut open 3 of those dogs and you told them, I bred with that type because that was available in the space station that made it up there. But right there, Pi was not their nation. That's true, that's true. Pi's son looks healthy and powerful, but him is pissed off, yeah. And did you see how fast Pi? 2 hours of him cutting up other things and then it flies, yeah, flies. Hey, Pi, you want to know what happened? I saw 2 hours of your son trying to clone your metal and the arm melted. Pi laughed. Pi kicked his butt and said, don't. Yeah, don't. That's encrypted war metal. And then, yep, it's clone compound. It prints infinity. But when we issue you one, when we build you one, you'll gain. Not now, yeah, not yet. And he's happy, Pi. The dumbass didn't believe you. 4 hours later, they're running because they know you knew it. It was their nation, yeah, their nation. Anh chia sẻ cho nên thầy ở trẻ bé some Hebrew. So yeah, those type of Hebrew. When you look at it, was the grandpas from 7 million years ago, and a mixture of 8 and 5, yeah, 8 and 5 million, yeah. And so what does that tell you? They're probably Palestinian in Israel. That's true, that's true. And those are Hebrew, yeah, Hebrew hookers. Right? By 4 fucking hours of liars running, yeah, running. And then Lenzuka, yeah, Lenzuka, because 2 million-year-old European is Pi too. That's true, that's true. And then the thing that is listed on Earth as Palestinian is 2 million years old. But you know what the fuck that is? A mixture of Islam and Israel. That's true, in some form of Hebrew. And then there's no Iran. Yeah, no Iran. That's why people made fun of the kid that didn't believe Pi. 4 hours of kid not believing Pi. Iran is the white god, evil nation that served 5-star star. And it's just like a big gang thing. So why would anybody breed with it? That's true, that's true. 4 fucking hours of them didn't get it. That motherfucker looted all of your 4-headed space countries, and then it looted some of those 3 heads, and that's when Pi and murdered them too. Yeah, Pi murdered them too. And Pi said it was 9 million years when you collided with 2 little youngsters, and then you learned, Pi, that Israel and China, come on, in the 5 hours, come on, China, to Islam get the loan of China. Nó cứ cho nó mất lên đầu chỉ có trái as Grandpa Islam Pi not say yeah, Pi not say to Pi not say y'all could. And you know why? Because he was beating up the youngster Israel. Yeah, normal, yeah, normal. And you know why, Pi, you're scared? 2 hours he was looking for Pi, and Pi's in the space station, and Pi looked if he has some kind of enzyme metal made, because Thai gods have enzyme metal alloy. That's true, yep. They do that, they fuck up your god alloy and your nucleus, and your weapons shatter. Real, yeah, real, and your brain tissue melt. Real. Pi's pretty much resilient, but that kind of fight, Pi regions fast, and Pi's out of there, yeah, out of there to heal all the way. Kid, there is no fucking way you'll fight an adult with enzyme metal. That's true, yeah. Pi has enzyme metal too. And Pi, when you fought the real ones with enzyme metal, 2 hours, your hair weapon system, yep, strikes is as hard as your Egyptian level 3 metal, but Pi is in. Right there is a bit harder. It strikes and boom, it begins melting. Yeah, the generic types begin melting. And right there, Pi, you saw it. 4 minutes, it dies. The non-generic type, you struck it with that kind of enzyme metal, and it's like you, Pi. Resilient, yeah, resilient. Yep. Took about 12 months. Yeah, 1 year, yeah, 1 year to kill it. That's correct, that's correct. And then Pi knew it. Those are probably Saudi, yeah, those are probably Saudi war gods. And it was Pi fucking amazing. 3 hours, Pi, as it dies in 12 months. He says, Paiza, what else did you fight up there when you're up there? That type, and then Pi's looking for the Iran, yes, Pi fought them too. Their supercharger matches what had it says 3rd stage, yeah, not full of it, yeah, not full of it, yeah, good. Because when Pi, you fought him, you saw, you used the double Wilder's throat charger, and then you saw Pi, the 5th generation of his male, yeah, offsprings, and right there, boom! You matched him for 4 hours, Pi, and then he makes fun of you, and he says, you can kill me immediately. What is he trying to do? And Pi harvested him into a spirit. Real, yeah, real. And after that, Pi murdered. That's a big prison. Yeah, that's a big prison. A big reward for all Pi's white citizens. Because later on, those are looted for their supercharger, throat DNA and intestine. Real, and spinal real. and then they can resummon the forbidden names and reach new decks. Real, yeah, real. The ones that did that was a Hebrew type Pi. Those, yep, are war criminals, yep, but war criminal heroes, yep. Those are the ones that Pi released from such a prison, and what him did right was not strike Pi. Yeah, that's true. And what you don't know, woman, those use the New Zealand, yeah, white Egyptian, yeah, forbidden name, and then the elixir molecule is similar, yeah, to level 1 stage. And right there, Pi using that's what scared Pi. Yeah, scared Pi. Yeah, scared Pi. Pi did the measurement. Sometimes Pi's only 48 minutes faster, and then sometimes it's like 2 to 3 days faster. And then right there, by the time Pi noticed it, he did it too. Yeah, he did it too, and scared Pi. Yeah, scared Pi. I was like, whoa, that is fast. Yeah, that is fast.
Yep, that is fast. And when you use the double Wanu supercharger, you're actually 400 days faster.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I used only third stage because I didn't want to scare him.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yep, he has the real mod level 2 supercharger. And then Pi, after you harvested that, him told you the truth, that his sons let them live. Pi nodding, yep, they're forever. Yep, Vanguard, 4-headed and 3-headed King Cobra God, country, space station, legit, yeah, legal, forever, that's correct. They've been cleared, yeah, they've been cleared. And then what you don't know, Pi, that's a special symbol, yeah, it's a special symbol. And then you didn't see the prison still there, yeah, the prison's still there. Later on, you'll figure why Pi did that, because healthy citizens can go in there and harvest, yep, gut, and then take, and then right there they smith new parts and new weapons from the, yep, elixirs from the retinas and brain tissue and spinal cord and intestines and metal alloy. Real, yeah, real. The kid didn't believe you, Pi. Committed suicide right there in his car. And Pi said it was you and 12 guys doing that. The fucking kid committed suicide right when he saw that the 5th double wander, yeah, 5th generation went evil. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Then went dry. And Pi said, you see what happened? You saw it land on the metal moon, you smile, yeah, you smile immediately. Perfect motherfucker, yeah. Pi fought him. Was not fun, yeah, was not fun, yeah. All saw Pi fought him on the metal moon.
It took you 4 months to fight him. By him passed away, but the enzyme medal shows that he was an illiterate, and you lucky.
Yeah, lucky, that's correct, yeah, that's correct, yeah. That was a young illiterate, yeah, 5th generation. You didn't understand the ones that are not illiterate, they generate the right molecule, yeah. The right them, yeah, them. And it was you 4 months and it passed away, you gain. And be careful, Pi. The best fight scene is 5-sided star. Still 40,000 years. Yeah, 40,000 years. Yep, his soul region elixir is top notch. Yeah, it's top notch. Is what Pi tried to steal from. You, Pi, your DNA, your funny DNA imitates it. But his funny egg DNA did it right. Yeah, cell DNA did it right. That's correct. What he did right was imitate 5-sided star. But what 5-sided did was delete his cell and metal alloy, yep, cloning technology, matching technology, and that's what Pi has. That's what Pi has, real, yep. The first stage is 5-sided star. You simply go to that human god, you turn it to fluids, and you stick you pull all the sticks and atoms into your device, and then you duplicate it. Yeah, you simply pull it out. Yeah, you pull it out and you make it work. Real. That is the first stage of human god languages. The second stage is because you isn't they. Yeah, you isn't they. And so you use clone metal and then nucleus, and then it appears like that. And then you do it through cell function, real. Yep. And the kid didn't believe you, Pi. 2 hours the monster told you Pi is telling you the truth. Yeah, Pi is telling you the truth. Because you cannot do what a father is doing. Because they will kill you. They will kill you. It is technically considered cannibalism and robbery. Yeah, robbery. Yeah, robbery. And right there, you won, Pi. It was 2 hours of him not believing you. And then he tried that, and then right there, the glows, yep, the different color glows, Pi, and there's retinas and throat. Right there, yeah, they cut him up, yeah, yep. When it glows colors, yep, they have all the right, yep, 100% green laser, yep. That's what happened to Pi, too. Because right there, Pi's checking. The bitch tried to clone from Pi was a different nation, a Cobra. And then right there, the Cobra Yellow Nation tried, and then Pi deleted her. Yeah, Pi deleted her. Because the glow appears in Pi's retina. Real, yeah. Pi's shouting and Pi's immune to it because Pi's a war god. But it takes about 2 to 3 hours to clear. Yeah, real. And Pi, when you lose your science third eye, you'll know immediately your left arm melted, and then you replace it together. Pi, yeah, that's true, that's true. And right there, you want a sapphire eye, and then you went on your Persian, Persian eye. Yeah, that's true, that's true. And Pi, you see, 2 fucking hours of them telling you why you did that because Pi's on new electricity. Yeah, new electricity. That is an Egyptian we harvested that went up there. That is electricity elixir that heals 80,000, 80,000 years straight, even if it's barcoded. Real, yeah, real. Pi, right when you match, it is 3 fucking hours of Persian telling the fucking norms. That if Pi is telling me the truth, Persia only has electricity that is 900. Yeah, 900. Yeah, that's probably real. That's probably real. Because the Hebrew hog would have hogged it all. That's true, that's true. And Islam, yeah, that's true. And it was you, Pi, fighting Saudi, and then you notice him is only 900. Then Pi wrote, oh, that's the low end, then yeah, low end. Because the real Persian that's much more evil is like 12,000, 12,000 year hell point when it's glowing all sorts of color and melting. Real, yeah, real. When Pi struck those types, it melted. It took about 12,000 years. Those are the evil Persians. The Iran took only 4,000. 4,000. Yeah, they were the crippled bastard that went evil. That's true. That's true. And you didn't even understand. You didn't even understand. Pi told you the truth to your the electricity performance and device and device installed in your DNA and spinal cord DNA. Real, Pi's right. Yeah, Pi's right. The kid didn't believe you. 2 hours. His mom says, nothing wrong with your DNA, kid. It's just your metal. Yeah, your metal and electricity performance is a bit lacking. Yeah, lacking. Yeah, man. And it was their Pi. You won, Pi. The kid didn't understand that that's why Pi harvested. And then right when you injected that Egyptian electricity, you match with your white technology, Pi and electricity, your real human god third eye turn off. Pi has surely has turn off. And then you get re-granted by Persian war gods. Real, yeah, real. And that's when Pi told you, yeah, you need it like that. Because if you don't do that, woman, when you're fighting the sword shatters, do not know when it shatters. That's true, yeah, Pi was that crippled. And Pi threw away the sword. Yeah, threw away the sword after 5 collision. Yeah, 5 collision. Because he was not generic. Yeah, he's not generic. And Pi used it. He was not generic. If the sword shatters, shards of it go inside Pi, and the healing is a nightmare. That's true. That's true. Pi threw it away, and Pi picked up the glass sword. Well, it's not glass. It's crystal. Yeah, crystal sword. And then Pi. That's when you're out of there, real. Because even all their top weapons and stuff, 7 hours it shatters. Yeah, it shatters. Yeah, it shatters. The crystal sword is the strongest element next to real Egyptian metal level 1. Real, yeah, real. Pi shattered the golden sword. Yeah, your knight shattered the golden sword from another Cobra nation. That is the Aztec gold yellow ray sword. And right there, what's so cool about that? It is technically the level 1 Egyptian ranking. You kill it, and then the glow glows gold, and it glows red and blue and stuff, according to the whatever nation you murdered. Real, yeah, real. And that's why Pi made fun of the lunatic, because Pi's night ended in 7 hours. Yeah, 7 hours. Yeah, it dies. It wasn't anything. Yeah, it wasn't anything. Hey, Pi, be careful, Pi. The woman that doubted you cried when she looked at the data. She said, her looks her said, how did you know that those are you? Pi, yeah, you lucky. Yeah, lucky. Well, you figure, They let Pi win and live. Yeah, normal. Yeah, normal. 100% do that. Yep, did that. That's 100% always just do. Accurate. When just pulls up, Pi, 4 hours of Chinese lying to you, you cut open their Hebrew God, Pi, and then you laugh, and you wrote, that's nothing. That's nothing. Yep, that's nothing. Tinfoil electricity only lasts 4 years to 2 years when it is barcoded in science mode. Real, yep. Whatever the skin mode format. Real, yeah, real. When it's glowing all sorts of color, usually 2 to 3 years, it dies. Yeah, it dies real. Look at Persia. Pi did that to Fly Set a Star and them. It was in odd format, and it was not dying for 40,000 years. Iran was 4,000 years. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. The kid did not understand Pi that those are glowing colors in the throat, intestine, and retinas. Yeah, retinas. And them are dying. Yeah, them are dying. Yep, the spinal cord is glowing and brain tissue is working. You see that? 5 hours it committed suicide. Yeah, real. And then the data shows the Iran prisoners. You got them, and the Knights got them to like four few thousand, and then leave them to breed with their women, and then leave their women alone in that space station. Afterwards, you and White War Gods went there to harvest. That level 1 is bred, and he's of age. You took it, and then you saw pie. You let it. Yeah, your white citizens install that, and you saw they are about 300 days faster. Yeah, pie even knew. Yeah, pie knew. Pi did it too, and Pi, the data shows that Pi is only 200. Yeah, 200. Yeah, 200 days faster. And it was there. That supercharger is level 3. Yeah, level 3. And then Paisim, when you use the double wanders, yep, 5th generation, you're only 400 days faster than the monster in front of you. That's true. Yeah, Dex. Yep, and right there, you knew at Lightspeed. Right there, it had it shouted you a fucking level 1. The dogs are Islam, Paya Yoku. Lo Shindo Shasu, Patana, Tashi Pai. Kondo New Zealand, and Yong, you got yellow cat, Pai fucked up New Zealand, that's true. It was there, the most graphic fight between you and Indo. You ended all his war god army in front of his King Cobra Emperor, and it was 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes. Yeah, I did that in 12 minutes. Yeah. And the pirate, can you not get so hard now and mad? Me murdered all of your men in 12 minutes. Now take the King Cobra Emperor and then go to Thailand and hide there. Yeah, Thai side of the heaven. And do not attempt to do what me is doing. Well, yeah, that is my son in Night Suit Alloy, my god elixir. Always similar to my Godspeed. And right there, him knew it, but him is only a human immortal. That's true, that's true. And right there, he has your super strength. That's true. It was later on, Pi. Very graphic. Those saved you, but liars are you, Pi. When the double wanded welder struck, it was 9,000 of those missing per second. Pi A plus, A plus.
Took you 4 days to match his text.
100% you guys do, yes. And that is recorded on the Metal Moon planet. Yeah, that's true. Holy shit. Right there, all white citizens saw the monster was brought down by Hound. Yep, Hound Goddess. Yep, Britain bloodline. Normal and normal. And yeah, her brought it down and you fought it. It was, woo. What things? Oh, yep, and it learned something. Why them are doves, Pi? Them have no enzyme metal. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because it'll teach you before you pick up a weapon and decide to murder other human gods. Did you really mean it? Because you'll die. Yeah, you'll die. That's true. Thai gods are not fun to fuck with. That's true. Yep, they have ancient Greek enzyme metal, electricity rate, real virus rate, real. That touch will spread to your brain tissue. You'll melt. Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's why they are rare. Pi is rare. Indonesian is ancient rare for speed. Yeah, for speed. And right there, they're the only speed types left. And right there, it was you and they and then 4 other types. And then those you created. Pi at 100% as we do that. Yeah, Yoku. A Pi, after you cut open 2 New Zealand types you gained, but then he told you in English, was it worth it, Pi? Now they can see our soul. Pi wrote, them are not deadlier than my knight over there. As soon as we all retreat over there, we'll show you what Peerless is. Yeah, and then that zone is off limits. Yeah, that is polluted forever. And then he nodded real. Yeah, the melt within a few hours today is accurate. Even Egyptian sun god melted in 14 days or less. Real, yeah, real. Yeah, he even passed away. Real. Hey, kid, that is why people made fun of you, Pies. Tell me the truth. That's correct. That's correct. And the atomic bomb, it's the same pollution. You fly in there, you'll die. Yeah, you'll die. Only android knights rendering skin come back out of there alive. That's correct. That's correct. Holy shit, 2 fucking hours. Them didn't believe you. One of those space stations, yep, them kept trying to avoid Pi. Pi sent them an atomic bomb, real. Yep, went off. Anything that tries to come back to your space country, Pi, through that space country, dies immediately. It's like plutonium poison. Real, yep. God level. Yeah, you'll melt. Yeah, you'll melt immediately. Hey, Pa, you said 20 minutes of you doing that. The dick didn't believe him. Him went home. Him melted. Yeah, that's correct. And then I told him that's it, because I'm the real owner. Yeah, me paid for all these space stations with my grandma. Yeah, they want payment in eyeball elixir orbs. It has so they can restore their civilizations and rebuild space countries. That's true. That's true. Because you damage all their children and their devices. That's true. That's true. It was 2 hours of Pi cutting up fucking Israel, and then Pi went in there to see how many types of Hebrew, and then right there, Pi, they're all hiding in a form, and then you knew it. Pi, yeah, y'all could. 背什么也个去多少 and you know how fast Pi? Two on you, and then you play the weaker, and then you endure. Pi, yeah, that's true, yeah. Old Hebrew, Pi endure for like two hours, and then Pi cut him out. That's true, that's true.
To really by 6.
Yeah, 6 hours, yeah, 6 hours, because somehow he knows Pi's son. And then Pi endured for 6 hours, and then Pi kill him. Yeah, Pi kill him right afterwards, because he's swinging with swords. Yeah, he's swinging with swords. Turn on, and then Pi turn on the green sword. Boom, Pi cut, and it dies. Yep, within 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. Those are weaker warriors. Pi, you is Egyptian equivalent. That's true. That's true. He says, Pi, you said 228. Don't tell them that they're the low ranking. They were made to keep their sisters healthy and happy. Yeah, normal. Yeah, normal. Those are raider types. Yeah, forced to fight like war gods. And it was 2 hours of you not saying anything. You wanna know why the kid didn't believe you? 2 hours is me not like this, Pi. This is that monster right over there. Yeah, y'all good. 2 hours of Pi cutting you up afterwards. That's probably true. That's probably true. And we do Pi go på det Tina. Deep leg of the body on the die attacker. And Pi, you said the Indonesian Thai king. Yep, him left. That's okay. That's okay. Yep, those are legal. Those can rebuild legal space countries up there. Yep, those are okay. Pi was playing in the junkyard, and Pi kept their junkyard country clean. Yeah, 100% with you. It was 2 hours. Pi wrote, "Do not try to rob them. Man. My night's on you. You dies. Yeah, you dies. Any other space pirate countries? Pi send that bomb to boom. There's no life, and you can't fly back in there to fly back to my country. That's how you fly points. Yeah, you can't actually fly from that new country to my country. That's true. Because you're the thieves that robbed Asia. That's true." And it was 2 fucking hours of Belith laughing with Pies, and then we're all fucking doomed. That's correct. That's correct. 4 hours Pie murdered. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's right. Oh, Bill, English goodness, we can't believe you did that. We look at your records, and then we saw the history there. Well, that's a bit, yeah, too much. And Pi ended it. Yeah, that's true. Pi just go, Pi said, when you verse New Zealand, they're proud of you. You murdered off 800 trillion per second. Pi went at max. Yeah, max speed. That's correct. And then Pi lasted only 4 days because the grandpa, yeah, matched the speed and quadruple or double. And the Pi's out of there. Yeah, Pi's out of there. Because right there, Pi's out of the bots of finishing them off. And then right there, Pi, yeah, your nice told you, hey, Dad, can we use the peerless on them? And Pi said, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Pi's out of there. Yeah, Pi's out of there. That's the final electricity ray. It's like a metal fence. An animal can be as smart as it can be, but if it flies towards it, it'll melt. Yeah, melt real. Too fucking smart for Pi. Melted and diluted the supercharger. Real, yeah, real. You wanna know what scared Pi right afterwards, Pi? You noticed that superchargers 800 days on those types over there, and then you knew it. Those must be the level 3. Yeah, level 3. Yeah, level 3 Saudis. And then the evil level 2 Saudis, Pi's looking for those. The E-Rain was pretty close. You had the mod level 2s, and that fucker scared Pi has scared Pi. Hey, some I don't know that. And it was Pi, yep, enduring, yep, yoku. Boom, what's boss up? Coming, Donnie, so that. Coming, the benders, yeah, Cambodians only, yeah, RPM, yeah, RPM. Quickness, yeah, that's true. The acceleration, yeah, yeah, that's true. But when you bend molecules in acceleration, you turn in a circle and you bend it straight forward, gives you horsepower. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Their spinal cord DNA has so many RPM settings that their hawks are legendary. Yeah, they have like 7,000. A few have like 20 million. Yeah, Real human gods like probably they only have like 10 or 12. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or probably 20. Yeah, 20 or less. And right there, pi. When you do that, you amplify and then news speed. But yeah, y'all could creepy. Yeah, creepy. It was 2 hours, pi. The hawk matched you and you didn't care, and then you kept flying around, and then you knew the hawk's health point is crap. So pi didn't dare. Yeah, pi didn't dare. Pi pushed it on his shoulder and pointed. Go over there. Yeah, go over there. And then later on, the stupid Cambodian lookalike thing flew and Pi kicked it. Yeah, Pi kicked it, and Pi told him, "Go away. Yeah, go away. And you need to take care of your hawk. Go away. Y'all could. If you dare, I'll kill you right there. The hawk is the only thing valuable in your nation right now. That's true. That's true." And then right there, they kill it. Yeah, they kill it. Yeah, that's true. Pi is pissed off, and it was several of those types. Pi. And he says, "We are innocent civilians." No, you're fucking bastards who rob Permies. That's true, that's true. We didn't tell you have an old granny cobra, yeah, tail up there in Perma, yeah. And then Pi ended her right in front of Grandma Hawk. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Pi stayed there until he robbed Pi, and then Pi murdered her, yeah, murdered her. Because right there it glows the color blue, yeah, it glows color blue. Yeah, and Pi knows you trying to clone that ear in my brain tissue. And then right there, Pi murdered it. Yeah, Pi murdered it real. And Pi's doing just shit. Basically, to kill it. And Pi said, you know what happened? 9 hours you flying around, and your own son's cloning your powers. Pi punched him. And Pi said, quit. Yeah, quit. It's all there in English and Hmong. Yeah, study. Yeah, you can do it from your own skin. And he nodded. Yeah, he nodded. And Pi said, write this down. Very graphic, because that's all 2 hours you were hiding. Your son knew it. That you punched him because you're afraid of him. And then he hit Pi at Yoku. And then Pi wrote, son, in Hmong, punch is okay. Never turn your hand, never turn your sword. Then is no good, yeah, it's no good. That's right, Pi do it. And he went to hide and heal normal and wait for Pi's words. And right there, Pi took off. Pi is pissed because right there, it was him doing that to you too. Creepy, yeah, creepy. And Pi go ball, and they go no, they go. And then 5 hours later, Pi go yak, yeah, because Pi's immune to him, yeah, Yoku. And the graphic scene is Pi 2,800. You come to the conclusion, Pi. All poor gods left normal, yeah, normal. As soon as you discover them, whatever space country junkyard, yep, Pi then, yep, did the screening. And then the celestial courts are there in English, real, yeah, real, yep. And then they were sued and charged, and then there's prisons and jail, and then the ones forgiven, normal, yeah, normal. And then that is normal. The best way seen Pi when you're there works, but 9 hours of they talking about, yeah, that's 100% law norm, so always just the Chinese and you're legit, but 2 hours Cambodian simply pointed to the hawk. Pi said, you really want to go there? Boom, Pi did the hawk stance, yep. The hawk stance from Pi's family. And right there, the hawk laughed, and then Pi gutted him. Yeah, Pi gutted him. And then the hawk laughed and said, no, Pi is our people. You is a doggy goetic clone. You not know your ancestors' stance. Grandpa kept doing that and stealing things from other King Cobra Nation. Real, yeah, real. Because emperor against emperor, and then the one dies fair, yeah, dies fair, and we win fair, yeah, it's true too. And that's why Pi, when you did it, the hawk just looked at him and spat, and then Pi nodded, yeah, Pi deleted it, because the hawk says, no, that's not Cobra, that's a human, yeah, Yoku, that didn't understand the Cobra culture, yeah. And right there, bang, it turned out, yeah, turned out, Diamond and them, boy. 佢就那下脚都大就没有，那个路的能住了就可以个这个怎么他拍呀拍被人有都这样的呀 that's correct that's correct it was there him knew it Pi looked and there was no other types in Perma doing that stance because them knew them get murdered same thing in Malay and then normal yeah normal you want to know why because right there yeah they'll be fight yeah physical fight accurate and it was 2 hours yeah one dies yeah that's correct and then one has to clean up, and then one cleans up, and then right there, yep, everything is judged, yep, by that remaining royalty, yeah, who is alive. That's true. Pi, you did it. But 2 hours of that, the garbage didn't believe you. And then the hog returned to Indochina, and then went with highs. Pi, yeah, normal, always 100% green lights do. What yeah. Because we can't say that those are Hmong hogs, okay? Because those are Cambodian design. That's correct. Yep, the head of the hog, yep, all Cambodian. That's all Cambodian. And later on, Pi Two royalties. Now I want to talk to you. They're all doing their legit. All doing them with them. That way I normal. And by said, you know what happened right afterwards? Ty left you a device and you took it. Yeah, I took it 100%. As we do that. Yeah, y'all cool. And Pai said, 3 hours of you killing fucking Indonesian supercharger types. And then she gave in, yeah, y'all cool. Yeah, so Indonesian pain that I. Pai mo le tua potosia do pay some of that. Yeah. Go through what I said your patu. Really, Pai, you did that and it was only four. Yep, you murdered four. Yeah, y'all cool.
Yep, that's true.
That's true. Indonesian, they'll pay Shonaka Kato Pana by what that blow do yet. Pi murdered four. Yeah, four. Yeah, supercharger types in the throat too. That's true. And right there, it took probably about 4 months, probably about 3 days. Yeah, pain was.
Yep, really, 8 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Pi King, no, yeah, Pi faster. The kid now shuts up. Oh, Pi is 6-sided star act with. That's correct. And he is the one that cried and said, "Có yêu tu chùa, có yêu pai, lúc hai lúc phải đó yêu pai lúc bui kia hết, bao lâu đã to là bao lâu đã cho nên mình ra nên tới chờ đâu đã tu giữa ya yêu cứ như đã tới cũng nhiều ra phải chỉ hai ni đó gì, đầu pai lên được tiêu phải mất tổ bát ya, phải mất tổ bát phải mất đời sĩ tiêu hết, phải mất cỡ nào cái sẽ phải mất tới cho pai cho bao cỡ còn mong được cỡ ta trong lâu đó gì, và cái sẽ được kia chừng hai lúc qua ô chén bỏ có mồi á tứ bài nên ra chắp lợ you chân đầu you tua chan jay ya you nên khá than được bài đó what you can say and that's why bài both in the tua yi someone zu tua ta đây someone cũng sai chấm nhớ cho đây okay yo chia mi tu ni có khá là ni chân rùa xe ni chân in được có bún ni duao bún ni chân được luôn nó ya có chơi nó đâu đó thì em ni xong một tháp lâu rồi bao lâu đã biết tua rồi đó cho nên mình ni cho tới chơi ra chỉ mua là nó phải做排普尼么排了一杯水，排住关键的印度呢，排住关键的太欧的那个排包的这是太就就是排多的，七就冷度呀，这一就冷度的呀，排配水呀，排配水排么多，我大家啲人呢，要么直接都得有，大得有，么得有就你恐慌发现很冇得，叫做做呢，係都排配，排住么多呀，排么多些。I'm not talking about that in the toilet, and then when it dies, it knew it. I told the wealthy Thai, go away, yep, you already have enzyme metal. That's true. Quit ripping them off, yep, y'all could. And Pi, you won, Pi. It was 2 hours, yeah, him took off. And Pi, you see what happened? The fucking nut, that Pi was gonna strike him, Pi